I've been working with Roscoe for about the last 14 years on Aussie Invader 5R, which is a land speed record car that we've been building. And out of that would come some incredible stories as we were talking about the car or things that were happening. And I just decided I had to get these stories down before they were lost or forgotten. And he would tell me bits of his life, or something would happen on the car and it would lead to a story, and he would then relay something that happened to him in the past, and you'd go, oh my God, that's an incredible story. I just need to know more about that. Most people would have one or two of these stories in their life. Roscoe had hundreds of them. So I decided I just had to get them down and make them into a book. Roscoe, what's it like to actually read or listen to your life story and have the events in front of you, things that happened to you many, many years ago that you probably haven't thought about for a while?
Yeah, bloody scary, I suppose, is the answer to that, Mark. I'd say, to actually see a book completed for a start, and then over the years there's been many people that have said, I want to write your book. Yeah, you killed the pig, mate. You got in there and done it and did it in record time, and I love the book, and just there's so many stories in there that I still got to relate every day where people come around and they say, what about this? And then I say, well, here's the bloody book, read it. And, we've had a lot of fun doing it, and I take my hat off to you, mate. You're an achiever. You've done a brilliant job.
Well, I mean, the thing that happened to me is once people did start reading it, it filled in a lot of gaps in your life that they didn't know about, and probably explains a lot of what you have been striving for and why you've been striving for it, because, you know, that passion was burning very early on in your life. Roscoe, what do you need to finish the car to go racing and to break the world land speed record?
Well, Mark, as you'll be aware, mate, this is one hell of a project, mate. It's a very, very big project. That's inconceivable for most people to even think about doing something like this. So bottom line is we've done the first stage of what we're doing. It's taken us 14 years to get to complete a car. We've built the world's most powerful car, and very soon it's going to be the world's fastest. That's stage one. Stage two is to run the car, to start doing engine tests, ground runs with it. We tie it down, put it on full power, and then start sneaking up on the record. But to put a team together, the logistics of putting a team together are absolutely mind-blowing. So the bottom line to your question is, the short answer to your question is, we need $3 million to make it happen. And a lot of people would say, well, boy, that's a lot of money. But you look at F1 or anything else, that would buy you a patch on your shirt. So that's nothing. And this is the holy grail of what we're doing. It's a world land speed record. We want to be the first team ever to go supersonic 1.3 Mach through the sound barrier and go 1,000 mile an hour or 1,600 plus kilometres an hour. So that's not for the faint-hearted.
No, and you also need to prepare a track, which is obviously very expensive as well.
The track, the whole logistics into what we're doing, we need a huge team. We've got to have infrastructure for them to live in when you're out in a very remote desert location. And everything we do is now we've got to spend some bucks, and we need the support to do it.
Okay, well hopefully this the book and the audio book will help raise awareness for the project, and so that we can attract some interest from sponsors.
Yeah, and in saying that, there's a lot of people looking from the outside and say, well, why would we support this or why whatever? And it's something we're doing for God and country. It's not about making money. We've never made a cent out of what we're doing. It's for God and country. And our very good friend Ken Warby holds a world water speed record and a national hero. So I'd like to be there with holding the trophy, holding the flag, at being the first guy to set a world land speed record in Australia.
Yeah, I mean, that would be an incredible thing, because Australia would then hold the world water speed and land speed record.
Hold the two at once, mate, yes. Well, I've never been happy with just having the Australian record. My childhood ambition was to set a world land speed record. And sadly, what happens with the land speed record over the years, it just evolves. And when back in the old days when you thought you could build a car to go 400 mile an hour, that's long gone. Now we're going to build a car to go 800 mile an hour. So, it's just one of the things that's involved. But, it's what we're going to do.
When I came along, which was about 14 years ago, and we were just starting on Aussie Invader 5R, it was a blank sheet of paper, really, and it was such a big project. Everything needed to be done. We had very limited resources to do it. We're a small team of people, and what we did is everyone has to wears multiple hats and do lots of different things. So you jump in and do whatever you can. At 72 years of age, do you think you still have the ability to drive this car and break the world land speed record?
Well, Mark, I've served a lifetime apprenticeship, mate. I've been on this job for over 50 years, and we've had everything, as you know. We've had the rocket-powered vehicles, jet-powered trucks, motorcycles, the whole thing, and I've done a 50-year plus apprenticeship, and a lot of times I say to myself, who else could drive this car that we've built, that we've created? And different names have been thrown at me, and the bottom line is no one. There is no one out there that could drive it, mate.
No. Okay.
Or would want to drive it.
Yes, I would think that's quite true.
I still think I'm 22 years of age, and as I've said many times, I'm in a time warp. I've never owned a watch in my life, and I've had situations where I've had to fill out logbooks, and I've had to ring up so you can put the day, the date, the whole thing in the logbook when you're driving the truck long distance, and I've had to call people up and ask what day it is, what date it is, what month it is, and then what year it is. And that's as true as I sit here. I'm in a time warp. So, even though I'm 72 years in real years, I feel like I'm 28, mate. So, yeah.
This is the book that Roscoe and I have written. You can get it on Amazon. It's now coming out on Audible. It's an incredible story of one man's life and obsession with racing and his land speed dreams. I think it will leave you speechless at times because some of the stories are just that incredible. But it's such an enjoyable book. Everyone who's read it has said that they just couldn't put it down. Yeah, we wanted to turn this into an audio book because we believe obviously audio books these days have got a massive audience. Yeah. And Jason from Magic Studios suggested a few people that might be good for the book, which was incredible. We sort of auditioned them and then we selected one, and it's been a fantastic process. I mean, it's been pretty seamless and quite enjoyable listening to it come to life. Well, it's quite funny because when I've heard the voice for the first time, I was obviously comparing it with Roscoe and how he would talk. Yeah, when I started listening to it, Greg captured the essence of the way you would say things. It obviously wasn't your voice, but it was such a great interpretation.
It was fantastic. Brilliant job, guys, and that's something I haven't been privy to see what's going on here. And I've been busy working on the car, and Mark's run with this. And when he said about audio books, I thought, what's that? I've never seen one, never heard one. So I'll be the first bloke to buy a copy.
Yeah, when I look back at Roscoe's story, it's just an incredible, inspirational story of someone who has driven themselves to basically do all of these things, break all these records. I just can't believe that someone has that passion and drive to do that and still able to drive that car at 72 years of age. But I can assure you he can. It's an honour to tell Roscoe's story. I know that when he goes for the land speed record and the record is broken, there'll be another book and another story to tell.